Last night, the federal government proposed the new federal budget. With so many stats and figures, we figured we'd invite our mate, finance expert and CEO of MyBudget, Tammy Barton, on the show to walk us through how this budget looks. Good morning, Tammy. How are you going?
I'm well, thank you. Good morning.
Now, Tammy, you're obviously so, invested in the budget and money, things like that. Are you one of those people that, gets the dips and crackers out on the budget night and has a little party, or...?
Not really. I mean, look, there's so many experts, and I love reading everybody's summary and their thoughts on the federal budget.
Yep.
I'm always interested in, how it's going to impact, mums and dads and households, and then, of course, how it's going to impact business as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, speaking of the impact, of course, we are living through a bit of a crisis with the cost of living, and it seems like in this budget, they're really quite focused on trying to relieve that stress, which is great. But is this going to see more inflation and us being worse off in the coming years?
That was exactly my concern, in particular when I read about every household getting a $300 credit on their energy bill, which is fantastic, by the way, and really welcomed. But are we really addressing the root cause of why electricity prices are so high? My concern is, and what I see in day-to-day budgets, is that if there's a savings somewhere, generally it's going to get spent somewhere else. Yeah. So therefore, how is this actually going to help inflation? You're robbing Peter to pay Paul. And so I am a little dubious that these incentives that we're going to get are going to actually help reduce inflation. I just don't necessarily see that happening.
I mean, speaking of those incentives and, say your example, the credit of $300 given to households for their electricity bill, would you say the public consensus is that's just a quick fix until the next budget, until we readdress what the actual issue is? Like, how would that get fixed?
I do think that people are going to see through it. I think the RBA are going to see through it. I don't necessarily... we may see some reduction in inflation, but I think long-term the RBA are going to see through that. And what we really need to be doing, and I'm no politician, but it's just addressing the root cause of these issues, looking at our productivity issues in the country and working out how we can be more productive, but also reduce taxation for people. They're the real things that we need to be addressing.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like that is, the consensus right now. As well, Tammy, another big category was the students and what incentives they're receiving. Starting from July 2025, 68,000 students studying nursing, teaching and social work, and also vet students as well will get up to $319.50 a week. What other incentives can students see coming their way?
Well, look, there's the HEX Help loan. So each year they rise in line with CPI instead of accruing interest. But because inflation was rising at rates higher than wages, if you were making the minimum repayments, some balances were actually higher the following year.
Yep.
So the government has moved the cap to indexation to whichever is lower between CPI and the wage price index. So in other words, indexation doesn't go up faster than the average wage, which I think is fantastic. And students don't need to do a thing, but they won't be getting a cash payment. The ATO will automatically calculate their indexation credit and apply it to their help debt account, which, like I said, I'm sure will be a welcome relief for students.
Thank you so much for clearing up some of our questions on the new federal budget. Our finance expert, Tammy from MyBudget. If you want to be free from money troubles, go see the legends at MyBudget. Cheers again, Tammy.
You're welcome. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.